My name is Kilemade, and my diagnosis is that I've got dementia, because I knew there was something wrong with me, and it took a while for the doctors to diagnose it themselves. Yes, I was relieved because I didn't know what was happening, and I was happy to either hear good news or bad news, but it happened to be good news because I knew what I was dealing with. I'm very relaxed about it now, very relaxed about it.
My name is Helen and I have Alzheimer's. I felt utter despair when I was first diagnosed. I was in shock. I couldn't really take in what it was about, and I didn't quite understand what the illness was. I couldn't function in my job. I couldn't, at a meeting, I didn't really know what was going to happen next. My words wouldn't come out. I found it really difficult to get a sentence across, and I just froze. And I think by being diagnosed, I know it may sound strange, but it just really helped me to accept that I have this illness and that I must just learn to live within it.
Well, I'd say tell the truth. Don't try to hide it. I don't beat around the bush. If I meet a friend or somebody who knows me, I will tell them first of all, by the way, I've got dementia. And then they say, oh, and I say, oh, that's fine, I'm fine, and I'm just have this problem, but it's not affecting me too much.
I tell people I have a memory issue, and if I don't remember the name now, I tell them. And initially, I couldn't tell people I had a problem. I tell people all of the time. My family, like all families, I'm one of 9, and some were very accepting, and some were, it's your age, and what do you expect? And I think it's very, very difficult for families to accept. It's very, very difficult on your family. But for months, and it doesn't come overnight, because they don't know more than I know what's down the road. And so it is a period of time for them to adjust. But they're delighted that I tell people that I have the illness, and they are very open about it now.
Walk every day, and I jog, and I get a great sense of achievement, and it feels good at the end of the day. There's a tremendous sense of accomplishment, not so much that, but that it's enjoyable. There's a reward when you sit down after a good long jog, and you're sitting down in the chair, and you feel, oh, that was great.
I think it's important that you're as active as you possibly can, and you do as many of the things that you can, because it's very easy to isolate yourself, and that's what I did in the early days. But I would recommend to people today, please don't try not to isolate yourself, to get out and be as active as you can, and to share with people. The great big world today are much more accepting of your illness, and they're much more helpful. Every day I make a concentrated effort to update my diary, and it's a small job, but it really has made a huge difference to my life, because it's very structured in what I do, and it's not just my own appointments. I have my husband's appointments, or if my son was coming home or something, I'll have all of that in the diary, and everything is there, and I know what I'm doing from day to day, which is really giving me terrific structure in my life, and has made my life a lot happier. I also took up gardening. I always dreamed of having a rose garden, because I loved the whole idea of a new rose, new life, and that rosebud, I suppose, has given me new life. So I got some help to put in some flower beds, rose beds, and so it has given me a whole new focus in my life that I didn't have before, and that gives you great joy.
I think it's very important that you put your financial affairs in order. I
think in the early stages, if you have early onset, like I was diagnosed with, then it was. I thought maybe it was too early for me, and I found it extraordinarily difficult to get my head around it. I really did. Even though my son was a lawyer, I just couldn't cope with the idea of having a power of attorney. And anyway, I just said, I love my credit card, so why should I give it away already? So I think that's something that everybody has to do. It's really important. It has no real impact in the long term. Your power of attorney is only when you need it. We don't know the progression of our illness. We know there's no cure. We don't know the progression. And some of us take medication, and it works for some, and so to stop the progression. So I think it's important that we take all of this on board, and we do for our families what needs to be done, and to get our affairs in order.